Obinna Ekezie Jr. is a five-star recruit, one of the best players in the class of 2027. Five-star center stud. Everybody wants him. And this is like a true, I don't know. I feel like I never have the right word for it, but like you've got roughly 10 to 15 5 stars in every class. In that mix, there's always like five guys that I would even put in their own category of their own. They almost need to be like a 6 star recruit. And to me, that's what Obinna is, right? There's no debate on what this kid is. He's an NBA player that's going to go to college basketball first. And his offer list reflects that. The schools prioritizing him reflect that as well. Obinna gave some lengthy quotes on all the schools in his recruitment to stockrisers.com. So shout out to Jake Weingarten and stockrisers.com who reported this over the weekend. But Obinna told Stockrisers the schools that are heavily involved include Kentucky, Duke, Ohio State, Auburn, USC, Kansas, Georgetown, Maryland, BYU, Virginia, Creighton, Louisville, and Miami. All those schools have come in to see him at his school in the new period here. This is the first that I've heard of BYU's involvement in this recruitment. We knew that Kentucky and Duke were after him. John Calipari also getting some singled out quotes here on how he's involving himself in the recruitment, but he goes at length with detailed statements on all of these schools and what their pitch is. So we can flash some of these out, but remind the folks at home, give me the general stance from you on Obinna, please.
Yeah, I know we've done a lot of Arfon John talk as far as big men in this class, and I do think that John is the cream of the crop in here, but Obinna would be the second best big, I think, in this class, at least in my opinion. I think that, the skill set is enticing with him. I do think that there's a lot of potential. I think on the first Obinna video we did, I said that he gave me vibes of Evan Mobley. And I do think that's the type of player that he can be. He has the size. He's mobile. He's not a stiff, right? I think he can block shots, finish, and he shows a little bit of other things that I think is you project him down the line to be a good player. I think he does have an NBA lottery pick type ceiling, and uh, what you can see down the road for him.
Automatic one and done, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I think if he's not,
truly.
I think if he isn't a one and done, that means that something went wrong with his freshman year.
Yeah, to me, he's one of those guys that literally is just like making a pit stop. And you could go
Mm.
through previous classes, especially with centers, where it's just obvious like this dude could be in the league right now. We can't draft him yet, so he's going to college for a year. But those recruitments are usually a little bit different. Guys that know they're that caliber usually look for somewhere that is just going to prepare them for that next step more so than I don't know, maybe look for somewhere that's more focused on like skill development or I don't know, culture in college basketball. Sometimes they care about both. I'm not saying Obina can't, but usually the history, if you go back and look at all the true guaranteed top five player in a class centers, they end up making a pit stop at somewhere they believe will prepare them in 1 year for the NBA. A lot of his quotes on these schools reflect that. Just for what it's worth, maybe that's kind of shading my perception of this recruitment a little bit. But here's a few of the things he told Stock Risers. Shout out to Stock Risers again. Make sure you go support them. He talked about Duke and said Duke's pitch is, quote, they talk about the fact they've had a big picked in the top 10 for the last few years. They see that as a way of using their talent in their system, their great program. So Duke is basically like, yeah, come be man. Derek Lively, next guy, over and over and over again. Big Pat's next. It's you after that. Kentucky has been heavily involved here. In fact, Mark Pope is visiting him today and sending the full staff with him. So it's another one that Mark Pope is very early prioritizing. And that does seem to be resonating because Obinna said Kentucky's been really involved. They were the first blue blood to offer me. Coach Fueger and Coach Pope will be here on Monday. They're a great program. Lastly, BYU. Again, I didn't know BYU was after Obinna. This is new to me. But BYU apparently was there last week, and Obinna said, quote, they've been consistent with me. They're building an NBA-type college program with Coach Young being a former NBA coach. I think they're a great program building something new. So NBA shouts from Duke and BYU. Kentucky maybe the relationship pitch right now. We've been after you the earliest, and we're still going to go after you stronger than anybody else. Anything from any of these quotes jump out to you?
I mean, I think we talk about a guy who wants to be a one and done, get to the league right away. I think that Duke and even BYU currently as it stands, like they're going to have 2 years back to back with top 10 picks in Yegor and then this year with AJ DeBonsa. As of yet, we have not seen that with Pope, right? Now, that's not to say that Kentucky can't be in this and can't be a part of this. But one thing that Coach Pope doesn't have to his name early on in his career is he doesn't really have that guy. Like he had Kobe Brea drafted and Amari Williams, but those were second round guys. The other two schools I think have pitches for where they've gotten guys into like or not gotten guys, but they have lottery picks to their name.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing with Obinna, if he chose Kentucky, would be you would have your NBA guy that you can now point to because nobody could mess up Obinna's NBA future, I don't think.
No, I think it's pretty set.
And it's only a matter of time before Kentucky gets that guy too, right? Like they're after Tyron Stokes. People say they're leading there. So you're at Kentucky. NBA players are ultimately going to come through Kentucky at some point. Maybe it's Jasper Johnson or Malachi Moreno even.
They will, right?
They will.
Okay.
Yeah, they will. Even though I like playing Mark Pope skeptic and there's a lot of issues with his recruiting right now, I they will. NBA players will go to Kentucky. They always do.
Okay. Hey, if you tell me they will, then I believe they will.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. Do you think out of those three, let's just isolate BYU, Kentucky, Duke. You could throw Arkansas in there if you want, because he gave some praise to John Calipari, who's just starting to begin recruiting him, but he's got his attention. Out of those options, what do you think is the best fit for Obinna in his game? It's hard to beat that Duke pitch for me.
It's hard to beat the Duke pitch. It's also like for me, even it's hard to beat like Cal getting guys to the league still. Like I still think he holds that. And I know like you push back on me on that sometimes saying that he still has that. He still does. Not a year removed from Kentucky. He had both Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepard as top 10 draft picks. Like he still is a guy that can do that. So I think he can still lean on that as far as his lineage and getting guys to the league.
Yeah, fair. I am gonna go Duke here. I'll do like way too early read the room. This feels so Duke to me. I think that pitch rocks basically. Hey, every year we have a one and done center. He rocks. He's great. Just come plug and play. Like to me, that's what Obinna probably wants and needs. As fun as it would be to kind of be a new, yeah, maybe you could fall for like the BR Debonsa 2.0 stuff at BYU, right? Like every year we've got the centerpiece elite guy, and we want that to be you for 1 year. I do think he's got a caliber to him that could live up to that. Kentucky's certainly going to be in it, and it sounds like Mark Pope may be recruiting Obinna harder than anybody else at this point. But to me, again, Duke's a tough team to beat out for a five-star center.
Goddamn brotherhood.